Alright, this is going to be a cutout character animation setup part 3. In this we're going to set up the mouth shapes and the mouth animated mouth composition that will nest into our main composition. Alright, so in part 2 we animated the eyes so that we could animate the character showing some kind of different eye shapes, you know, main eyes and blinks and different emotions. Same kind of idea here with the mouth. So originally I have the mouth as just kind of a single picture, but instead I want to replace that with a composition that creates the mouth shape. So mouth animated, and I'm keeping it at a 50 pixel by 50 pixel, and it's going to be at 10 frames long at the moment. I'll change that probably in a second. Say OK. So in this composition I want to bring down my mouth layers. So I've got all kinds of mouth, A, B, C, D, E, F, L, M, O, U, and W. So I have my different mouth shapes here. And so I'm going to bring all those down, and just like I had done before, I'm going to give them one frame, and I'm going to control right down here. I'm going to select them all and hit control or alt right bracket, and I'm going to trim them all down. And let me try this. Alt right bracket and trim them down to one frame at a time. Now I'm going to scale them all. This is something I didn't do last time, to 30, and then I need to put them in to position. So I'm going to need a little more space than 50 pixels. So I'm going to go back to composition settings, and I'm going to widen it up a little bit. So maybe 70 pixels by 70 pixels. Say OK. Yeah, that looks like it might work out all right. Let me just hide them, look at them all. You can do this one at a time. I'm just kind of give myself a little bit of room here. And there's my that. This looks good. F's, L's, M, O, U, and W's. Okay. What I don't have is kind of my standard smile, so I'm going to actually drop that one in here too. I left that out, so I'm going to go back to the body, or the mouth body here, and grab. Oh wait, maybe I have it in there. My base. Okay, so my base is just my smile. That's what I've been using. Okay, so they're all visible and they're one frame. So instead of doing what I had done before, I want it to last one frame. That's what I messed up on my eyes, so I'm going to go back and adjust that. You can adjust that so it's just one frame. And so what I'm going to do is I'll grab all my layers here. I'll go to keyframe assistant, and I'll go to sequence layers, and I do not want to overlap anything. So I have all of these layers now laid out, and I want them all to be visible. And so if I play through this, hopefully I can go through all those mouths one at a time. So that's what we want. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. My last mouth is W, so I'll make sure that that's right. Yep. So those are all the mouth shapes right there. You wanted to see it great big, you could. There they are. Okay, so that's how easy that is. There's my mouth shapes animated. That's my composition. I go back to my puppet. Actually, here's my eyes, and I need to actually fix this. You can fix that on your own, just like I had done. I'll have to fix that in a second. All right. So here is in my mouth. Instead of using this mouth base, I'm actually going to replace that or cover that up with my new mouth composition. So here in my mouth animated, I'm going to bring that down to this layer, and I have it here, and I will insert it into my comp here. Now some of them might not quite fit. I might have to tweak that a little bit more. So that looks pretty good, but not every single one of them looks good. There's my base mouth. I'm going to go back and just adjust that a little bit. So I need to open that composition back up a little bit. I'm going to keep things mostly high, and I want my base mouth to be my first one and not A. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to swap these two. Oops. I'm going to left bracket there. And I want this to be my main, and I'm going to move this up in my composition because I want most of these to be pretty high. So this will take a little bit of doing. Remember, his mouth is on a white background, so this just takes a little bit of time to tweak a little bit, but there's not like 100 or anything. There's just a little few, but you can do all your own, but this is just kind of part of it. And sometimes, you know, and I'll go now and look. What's nice is, since I have it nested, those changes here on my mouth, I should just lower this down a little bit. I'm going to move that a little bit more so like this. That looks good. Now that one doesn't look so good. The F. I'm going to check out the F layer here. So what's wrong? What do I not like about it? It's right under his eye. Move it forward a little bit. Let's see how that looks. There we go. That'll work. I'm going to move that one forward a little bit. The L. Looks pretty funny. All right. Okay. Oh, that one. This one needs to be moved forward. All right. So you can adjust yours however long you need it. So here we go. So the same, that one needs to come down. All right. Okay. I'll tweak it. You can tweak that as you go. Okay, so the same idea is this. I have this in position. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to time and say enable time remapping. That gives me the ability to then keyframe certain expressions over a period of time. So right now it's, oh, I want to parent it to his head, right? So I need to parent it to the head. So currently, if I was just to play this, his mouth would change, but no matter how I move the head, it's always going to be okay. Gives me a good kind of feel for what it's going to look like. It's just funny. All right. Well, that's that. I mean, now if you know how to move those keyframes, right, they're animated, and so they are held, and so we're using the toggle hold. So right now I have number 1, and it'll hold until I choose another one. So I only have 10 to choose from. So if I go to see a smile, I can keyframe that. I want to hold that, so toggle hold. I want to see this little arrow, and I can hold that for a few frames, and then I'll go back to his smile here, and then I'll go back to something else, maybe his something like that might be funny. I'll toggle hold that just until I see this arrow. Toggle hold this, and I'll see what it does. There we go. Very good. He's petting an imaginary dog down here. All right. So that's that. So you've got your characters, you've got your you've got this. Now, one thing that I want you to fix is instead of having one frame here, actually what we need to do is I'm going to quickly redo these. So I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to right bracket to line them all back up, and then I'm going to hold Alt and right bracket to trim them all to one frame each, and then I'm going to sequence them. Go to keyframe assistance, sequence layers. I do not want to overlap, and say OK. Now this composition only needs to be 5. It only needs to be we'll set the composition up so it lasts 4 frames. So composition settings, and currently it's set to 10, and we'll say 4, and let's make sure, let's see what happens. Now actually what it does is it always cuts it off, so it doesn't make much sense here. So watch, I'll actually need to say composition settings, and I have 1, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so I need this to be 5 frames. I'll pull this out and see what happens here. Frame 1, frame 0 is this, frame 1 is this, frame 2 is this, frame 3 is this, frame 4 is my single blink, and that's that. It lasts 1 frame, okay? So I need to make sure my eyes and all of that are working properly. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is what I do. When I'm working in my composition here, I'll actually make a layer to say, give myself some indication of what I'm trying to do here. So I can make little charts. 0, 1. Frame 1 is angry eyes. Frame 2 is sad eyes. Frame 3 is double blink, and frame 4 is a blink single. So you can do this however way you might need it. So I'll need to readjust my keyframes here. So this would be 0. This should be 3 or something, whatever it is. And you just want to go through and quickly readjust those. I may just redo them. This is my mouth. So on my eyes, if I hit the U key, it'll bring down all the keys that have been animated or changed, and so then I can readjust these. So that's 0. See, it's not 2, it'd be 4, and I'll just try to tweak these, and then I'll just readjust it. All right, and I'll go back and I'll fix these because my composition no longer goes to, that one's correct. This one would not be 5, it would be 4. This one would be 0 again. This would be 5, this would be 4. And I would just have to make some adjustments here. This should be 0. So this is animation. There we go. Very good. Okay. So I'd keep that there so I kind of have a little chart. I do the same thing for the mouth. That way I can choose the things that I want. Alright. So there's a little character being put together, and hopefully that'll help you putting together your own. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll do a little mouth lip sync, and we'll do a little pose to pose animation. Alright, so that'll be the next videos.